Welcome back to On the Rise as Canada sends a statement across the region with a 6-0 demolition job of Honduras in one of the most iconic victories in Canadian men's national team history. A landmark, a true landmark win for the Canadian men's national team. A 6-0 victory over a rival in Honduras, putting demons to rest from 2012, where Canada lost 8-1 to Honduras, creating rivals for life. And they got across a Honduras side and making them look very mediocre. This was a Honduras side that was supposed to be very tricky, physical, intelligent, and very strong defensively, and Canada made them look mediocre, poor, amateur. They made Honduras look absolutely abysmal. And that was how good Canada was on the night, playing up to their expectations, playing what we know Canada can play like. Even more so, it was the best performance under Jesse Marsch. Something we've said game after game after game, but this is something we have never seen before. 6 goals from the Canadian men's national team, playing incredibly well under Jesse Marsch. Every single performance from every player on that pitch was top. No player you can look out on that pitch and say he could have done better. He could have given us more. Yes, it was a great performance all around. It is something to get absolutely excited about to open this tournament against a side that was supposed to be the best team in our group. And there's so much to dive into, guys. I'll give you guys my reactions, my takeaways, and of course, we're going to break down every single performance on that pitch. And there's so much to dive into. Before we do, guys, dive into the comments. Let me know your thoughts, reactions on the game, on the score, and on every player involved. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Smash that like button, hit the sub button as we move closer to 700 subscribers. But Canada made a statement in an iconic win, winning 6-0 against Honduras, and they made Honduras look like a pot 4 side. This was a side that was walking into this group as the pot 2 team, the 75th ranked side in FIFA World Rankings. And Canada didn't make them look like that. And that is thanks to how well this Canadian side played. It wasn't down to Honduras and how bad they played, it was how well Canada played and how bad Canada made Honduras look. Right from the offset, Canada put Honduras under pressure, having a great chance from a free kick, having a great opportunity to score, which they didn't, but they should have. And from that, Canada set the tone immediately. Where some performances, Canada have been slow at getting off the starting blocks. And now, it's a completely different Canadian side. Came out right away, attacked Honduras, and took the game to them. And right throughout the start of that match, Honduras could not get on the ball. They couldn't string any passes together. Throughout that entire game, they couldn't get Lozano on the ball. Kyoto, Luis Palma. They looked mediocre. They couldn't get any opportunities and they couldn't get any chances. That is thanks to Canada's pressing. That is thanks to the way Canada was able to defend and absolutely throw Honduras off their game. And it was a great performance by every single player on that pitch, and Canada held on to the ball very well. The movement on the ball, the way they carried the ball in possession, and some of the passing from the Canadian players, whether it's Saliba, Chouanier, Nico Seeger, and Tajon Buchanan, and other players as well, the passing was immense. It was so good. Honduras struggled to get on the ball. They struggled to make a tackle because of the confidence, the way Canada played with the ball. It was so difficult for them to snip out and stop. And that was just speaks to the way Canada played. Even defensively, whenever Honduras tried to get a hold of the ball, they misplaced a pass or Canada was on them immediately, putting them under pressure and winning possession back, which was very exciting to see. When Canada would lose the ball, they were right back on it, winning it again. And that is why Canada was able to win 6-0. It was the way Canada attacked. It was the way they played with such confidence, always looking to go forward, always looking to create chances. And yes, it was a very choppy game. It was a very stop-start type of game at the first 15-20 minutes, the way Honduras wanted to play that game, not let Canada get a rhythm. And then eventually Canada was just able to seamlessly break down that Honduran back line, even if the referee was against them. And that is a different talking point, and I'm not going to bring that up in the video. But the referee was abysmal. And the fact Canada put 6 goals past Honduras still is immense. Of course, guys, the goal scorers were Nico Seeger, Taniel Lawase, Tajon Buchanan, Promise David, and Nathan Saliba. Fantastic goals, all very well worked, and a big outlier there is there's no Jonathan David. That was a harsh point throughout the Jesse Marsch tenure, especially during Copa America, especially after Copa America. It's the Jonathan David show. If Canada doesn't have Jonathan David scoring, Canada doesn't win. Well, things have changed. Tides have changed. Times have changed. Everything has changed. And we have everyone scoring. It's a by committee team. You have your fullback scoring, you have your winger scoring, you have your midfielder and your nine scoring. And God, does it feel nice. You don't have to worry about the days where Jonathan David's the only one scoring, because you can't rely on one player. The fact that Canada has multiple different players coming in, scoring, contributing is exactly what this team needs. And when you got your fullback, your midfielder, your winger, and your attackers all scoring, all contributing, whether it's assists, whether it's goals, it's exactly what you need for this Jesse Marsch side, especially heading into a major tournament in the Concacaf Gold Cup that you have to go win. And when you're putting demons to rest against Honduras, when you're beating a side so emphatically 6-0, it's a major step in the right direction, especially putting those demons to rest from 2012 and that 8-1 loss. But we have to look into the performance. We have to break down some of the players and what they did in that game. Dane St. Clair, yes, he had an 8.3 rating, only really making 1 or 2 saves. He didn't really have to deal with a heck of a lot throughout this match. Going to the back line, some big performances. Richie Laryea was one who started this game very slow, had multiple offsides, couldn't read the game very early on. That is the only thing that was a bit slow. Basson came on, played very well when he came on as well, but that left back, you need a traditional left back, a primary left back who knows how to play that role, who can whip crosses in on the left, and are consistent and always making those runs from the left back flank and giving you those options in attack. When Richie Laryea just wasn't able to read the game very well off the start, that is fine because he worked his way into the game later on, and that is why he finished an 8.3, getting an assist, and of course getting subbed off in the 63rd minute. As well in the back line, we had Joel Waterman and Luc de Fougerolles. Joel Waterman is one player that is in debate in the Canadian men's national team fan group and supporters, and he's one that causes a lot of conversation. And Joel Waterman had an incredible game. Very good on the ball, neat, very tidy, moving the ball forward, and aerially won every single ball that really came his way. You never had to worry when Joel Waterman had the ball, when Joel Waterman was defending. Very smart, very intelligent with his positioning as well. Great performance by Joel Waterman. And Luc de Fougerolles, yes, he only had a 7.2 performance, going 63 minutes, but the way the 19-year-old Canadian played, his intelligence on the ball, his way to slow down the game, always knowing where to be defensively, it was a very good showing from Luc de Fougerolles, and arguably has a good chance to work his way into the World Cup and Canada's best 11. And we have to talk about Canada's right back in Nico Seeger. Nico Seeger scored his first goal for the Canadian men's national team, and it was a great goal. Very well worked, very good build-up play, slotting it very nice into the back of the net. And he was so calm, so composed, and his build-up play was immense throughout this game as well. His work he did along the flank, getting up and down the byline, was very exciting. One thing that has to be talked about with Nico Seeger is his ability on the ball. He's really being hindered and held back playing right back. With the injuries we have, bring back Alistair Johnson, Nico Seeger needs a legitimate chance in the heart of the midfield. His ability on the ball, his calm, composed nature, and the way he's able to spread the ball around and ping it around with such ease, it's like Tom Brady throwing around the football. Nico Seeger is able to hit his man point blank every single time, and he always has that vision, that outlet, and it's very exciting to see. I'm not going to say his passing is as good as Tom Brady. No, it's not there. But Nico Seeger has that ability to always find his man. He is so good on the ball at passing and making that delivery, and it's very exciting to see. Moving on to the midfield, you had Ali Ahmed on the wing, getting an assist, an 8.4 match rating, and a very good performance for Ali Ahmed, creating beautiful, intricate passing. On the ball very well, looking to beat his man constantly, never thinking I want to move the ball backwards first. His first thought is always to go forward, which is very exciting from a winger, and Ali Ahmed had a very good performance. Of course, on the other wing, Tajon Buchanan. Tajon Buchanan has his confidence, he has his swagger, and he has Tajon back. This is the Tajon that arguably, in one more game, if he turns up this well, is a lock for 2026. That's how well this Tajon Buchanan is playing. 2 goals, playing very well, man of the match on FootMob, a 8.9 match rating with 2 goals. Tajon Buchanan was phenomenal. There's nothing to say wrong about his performance. Scoring from a set piece, getting a scrappy goal in the box, making a late run into the back post for basically a tap in. Tajon Buchanan also created some chances. It was a great performance all around from Tajon. We almost have a lock for 2026. In the heart of the midfield, you had Mathieu Choinière and Nathan Saliba. What a performance from both of them. Arguably could be a midfield that starts every single game of this tournament and might do. Gotta remember, there's still Ismail Kone on the bench. There's still Stefan Eustachio with the Club World Cup. There's still Nico Seeger as a midfielder who's playing at right back. This Canadian team, who used to have midfield problems, is now flooded with options at the heart of the midfield. Mathieu Choinière has locked himself in as the designated set piece taker. The balls he put into the box were a chef's kiss, were on a dime. You couldn't have told him to put them in the box any better. That's thanks to the set piece coach, of course, but what Mathieu Choinière does with the ball is absolutely spectacular. He was all over the pitch, winning the ball everywhere, as so was Nathan Saliba. Nathan Saliba had a great performance. The way he was on the ball, delivering it forward, always looking to play the ball ahead of himself, and scoring a fantastic goal, absolutely rocketing it into the net. He was like a delivery man, sending that post to their house, but he wasn't just placing it at the doorstep. He was just chucking it at the front door, saying, "Here, take that, it's in the back of the net." Over. That's game. That's what Nathan Saliba did, smacking that thing in the back of the net. And it was a great performance all around from that entire midfield. And of course, the front line speaks for itself. Jonathan David and Tony Oluwase. Everyone wanted to see Kyle Larin. They wanted to see Daniel Jeppesen. They wanted to see Promise David. But Jesse Marsh said, no. Let's throw you guys a curveball. It's Tony Oluwase. And Tawny time. 1 goal, 1 assist, an 8.5 match rating. And it was a great goal. Should have been given a penalty as well. Absolutely blasted his shot in the back of the net. And Jonathan David had an assist. Wasn't scoring, which is totally fine by me. If he wants to play creator, if he doesn't want to get into the dirty stuff, which he did, he had a chance, he should have scored. But if he wants to play a game like this again, I would not complain. But this Canadian performance, like I said, I'm trying to break down every single performance, and it was a great game all around, guys. You can't go wrong with any single player on that pitch. Nobody had a slow performance, even the subs. Promise David, Kyle Larin came into play a part, Zoran Bassong, Kamal Miller even came on and had a good showing defensively. This game was top to bottom perfection. Chef's kiss. 10 out of 10. You couldn't have asked for anything better. Absolutely. It was a humiliation of Honduras. Trying to be nice here. Yes, I said demolition job at the start, but it truly was. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Honduras, but this is a rivalry. And Canada absolutely humiliated Honduras. An A team against Canada's A barely and B side. Put them to bed. Absolutely finished them. And there was no tomorrow for Honduras. They were begging. They were ready to go home. They were ready to call this quits as it started to get more and more and more goals in this game. Longer this game could have went, Canada could have kept scoring more goals. There was more chances in that game for Canada that they left it begging. They were more clinical. This game could have really gotten out of hand. But once that 75th, that 70th, that 80th minute hit, Honduras was ready to go home. They're ready for this game to be done. And that speaks wonders to how well Canada played in this game. The fact that a 75th ranked nation that Canada used to have trouble against when they were qualifying for the World Cup, it wasn't easy playing Honduras. It was a very much a struggle. And now look at this team, putting 6 goals past Honduras with absolute ease and could have been more. Guys, it was a top to bottom, a perfect performance. You couldn't have said anything wrong about this Canadian team. I could talk about this for time. It was an iconic win. It was a demolition, a humiliation, whatever adjective you want to use. This Canadian team did that to Honduras. Let me know your thoughts down below, guys, in the comments about the performances, about the general match in general, of course, and the 6-0 result for Canada in one of the biggest victories in Canadian men's national team history, and a game you'll remember for the rest of your life. Smash that like button, guys. If you're enjoying the content, if you're enjoying Canada soccer, hit that sub button as we move closer to 700 subscribers, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.